I think the smashes, it's a little bit what Tapia lacks now. I don't know what is in the background. Is it an injury? Because we know that Tapia had something and he's not hitting the smashes now.
Augsburger is an unbelievable talent. His shot selection is still questionable. They still have their issues when you know, they get someone who can get their smashes back, then, you know, but I thought that the court was quite quick.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to say.
It was a massive surprise.
The temperature was high, the court was fast.
What I think about them, it is really, really good for paddle that there's a pair outside of Brazil, Argentina, and Spain. It is funny in racket sports, isn't it, that when you see the levels and you see these guys up close, you're just like blown away that like, oh my God, how good are they? And then they play against Coelho and Tapia, and Coelho Tapia plays 60% of what they can do, and they still beat them 6-3, 6-2 easily, and they don't really break a sweat.
Why do you think Cingotto is there? Why do you think Cingotto has a place with his, it's not offensive, but his height is, yeah. How he can be there with Galan, Coelho and Tapia? Because he's not missing balls.
When we talk about Cingotto, the main thing is how amazingly he moves back and forth. He's really hard to lob. You wouldn't actually think that he's that hard to lob, but he moves back so quickly, and he has a really, really nice, how do you call that?
Bandora.
Bandora, that's the one.
Let's talk about Paquito and Bergamini and talk about like why are they working. First, I think they're working because Paco needs a player to his side who he can navigate and control a little bit, like with Cingotto or with Dinenno.
Paco is so effortless, and when he enjoys the game, he's unbelievable. Yeah. He needs that stability from the right side, what Dinenno, what Cingotto, and what obviously Bergamini brings.
And we have to talk about Leal and Guerrero.
And Javi Leal and Guerrero, oh my God, what a story. Like, they have been playing together since they were kids, and it was unbelievable to see how in sync they are. Hi everyone. We are here at the Padel Podcast. I've got Tommy here with me, and he will be moderating this episode, which is a special episode about the Rome Masters. It has been a really, really great event. Obviously, there has been a lot going on. Welcome, Tommy. We are here live, finally, in Hungary, close to Budapest. Tommy came out and said that he definitely wanted to do it live, so here we are, not on Zoom. So the sound quality will be better because that's what he's all about. And yeah, welcome. How you doing?
Yes, I'm doing great, Dennis. And yeah, we got a lot of topics to talk about because it was a very interesting tournament in Rome. So yeah, just we're gonna go through it now. So the first thing is that it was quite more fans this year, a little bit more, because it was around 33,000 fans this year coming all through the Foro Italico, and last year it was only about 30,000, so it's not that much, but it's coming bigger. So what do you think about this growth?
So I think padel is growing, and obviously Italy is the second biggest padel country in the world after Spain. They have the most courts, and I think it is great to see that you know, padel is evolving, and for Italico, what a scene, right? So we had Emily Kilner. She was one of the speakers. Yes. Obviously, you met her.
Yeah, shout out to her. We were talking
absolutely.
with her.
Yeah, Emily Kilner. She's an emerging name in commentating on the padel scene, and she knows everything. Obviously, she's bilingual in Spanish, and it was great to see that and great to listen to her commentary. Also, Sandy Farquharson was there on the Red Bull TV, so it was great to see that, you know, the commentating is evolving as well in English, because a lot of people are still saying, and I will go back to your topic, a lot of people are still saying that, you know, the English commentary isn't as good as the Spanish. I think it is getting a lot better. Emily, massive shout out to you. And about the Foro Italico, we are talking about one of the most amazing scenery.
Do you know who built Foro Italico actually?
I guess the gladiators, I don't know.
No, it was a little bit after that, it was Mussolini.
Oh, it was Mussolini. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was interesting. I listened to a podcast on Mussolini, and while he's definitely a dictator.
Yeah, I was just actually watching Pablo's Quattro Set video, and that's where he said this interesting thing that it was in Mussolini's time when the Foro Italico was built. So it's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it is such an amazing scene if you look around, and the venue itself with the statues and everything. There's not a so you've written obviously 33,000 fans throughout the week, which is a 10% growth on last year's 30,000. What I can say is that, you know, it is one of the main courts. I don't think it's the center court what they're playing in. I think it's the second.
It is.
It is the center court. Okay.
Last year I think it was the first time. So the 2 years before, when Paquito was playing the final against, I think, Lebron Galan, they were playing at the second stadium. That was a center court, and I actually think it was like full in the finals. It was full, but now they were playing at the main stadium. It was not full. I was interested about how many people will go to the final. It was not full, but there was a lot of people, so it's growing.
I mean, it is just great to see how I can just go back to that topic that I think it's just amazing to see that paddle is evolving. It is interesting a lot more people than before, and look, you know, the quality of paddle has been amazing this week, and that's why we definitely wanted to do this special episode, because I think to reflect on this amazing tournament. After Roland Garros, we straight away had this amazing Masters as well, or Major, you can call it whatever you would like to, and the atmosphere has been electric. So it was great to see.
Let's go to the matches, and in the second round, actually, Cardona and Augsburger lost to Campagnol and Sagar 7-6, 7-5, and it was a big upset because Cardona and Augsburger are. They are playing massive in the past tournaments in Santiago as well, and now second round lost. What happened?
It's a good question, and I don't think it is. Sorry about the flies and the mosquitoes and everything. That's the the issues about having a live recording in a garden in the summer. So Karlberger, it is an interesting one, because I think there's a lot of speculation around them, obviously, because what my colleagues, our colleagues in TSH Paddle, they were pondering about the idea on how it would be for LeBron to play with Augsburger, and they said that they wouldn't actually leave Cardona for LeBron, which is a massive statement. I don't really know if that's something which wouldn't happen, but what I can say is it is a massive surprise. I think Cardona and Augsburger are the best of the rest as of now. Let's say the top four pairs, obviously, you know, Coelho, Tapia, Chingalan, Stupa, LeBron, and then Yangues and Nieto. And I think it's a tight contest between Paquito and Bergamini and these guys, because I have to contradict myself, because at the beginning of the season I said that Paquito and Bergamini, they are not going to be anything. I didn't think that it's going to be. This will be another topic which we will talk about. But now we can obviously touch this. That I never actually thought that Paquito will be playing this well, but now there's a theme going on, because Paquito in the last 4 years was the best when he was with Cingotto, obviously, because they were playing really well, and now is the Cingotto light, isn't it? Yes. Bergamini with his height and, you know, his play style, and obviously.
I mean, he's not light. I wouldn't say he's light, because they are like playing big matches against Coelho and Tapia as well. Sure. So Bergamini is very underrated, and we're gonna talk about that as well. So Paquito Bergamini is a huge pair now. Yeah. So back to Karlberger. I think you know, Augsburger is an unbelievable talent. His shot selection is still questionable. Cardona is one of the best lefties. You know, it's a massive advantage to be a lefty in paddle as well, because then there's 2 forehands which can be in the middle of the court, which is always a massive thing. But I think. Look, they're still sporadic. They still have their issues when you know they get someone who can get their smashes back. Then, you know, but I thought that the court was quite quick. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to say.
It was a massive surprise.
The temperature was high, the court was fast, and it's just an upset.
Yeah, so there's not like a straightforward answer to that. I think there might be something underlying, which I was saying, that there might be that, you know, LeBron might have already picked up the phone. Although we will talk about these guys as well, LeBron and Stupa, because I definitely want to touch on it, because I think they gave the best match to Chingalan, but we will talk about that. But I think it would be a mistake for LeBron to already look for someone else, but it might have happened. And what do you think? Should Augsburger take LeBron's call? Should he consider it, or should they build up something like you know, what Coelho and Tapia did, and they just built up one of the best pairs in what Padel has ever seen?
I think both pairs need more time, for sure, because they are still. I mean, Stupa and LeBron, when did they start playing together?
Sure.
Like
just a couple of months ago.
Yeah. So they need time. They need more losses so they can analyze the match and grow more. So it's. I think both pairs, and Carden and Augsburger, they're young. Obviously, Augsburger was playing with Libak for so many time, and I don't think that was a good choice as well for them to break up, because they're still young and they need to. It's a big thing in padel as well, for me personally as well. That's like, I had so many partners, and it's not a good thing to play two tournaments and then switching a new partner because something is not working. You need to solve the problem together, because this is a sport of two players on the court, and you need to work as a team. So I think both pairs need more time, and they need to trust their skills, and they need to trust each other.
Yeah, 100%. And I think Karburger is an amazing prospect. You know, they already played finals. They already they were already there. They already beat Coelho Tapia, which is a massive thing. They already beat the best pairs. So, you know, they are not as solid. They have their ups and downs, because if you look at Coelho and Tapia, they don't really have a day off, hardly ever. The same with Chingalan. But all the other pairs, maybe Stupa and LeBron is the third pair who's hardly beaten, because they just have too much, you know, in their repertoire. They just have too many shots which they can pull off. But I think you know, they have maybe the highest upside out of all the pairs, I would say. When they're playing well, I don't think anyone can beat them. But that's...
Stupa and LeBron?
No, Karburger.
Karburger, yeah, for sure, 100%.
So I think when they're firing on all cylinders, they are really hard to beat, if at all, even by the best pairs. But when
the
that comes
margin
off,
is very high. So there is.
So I mean, they can be really bad sometimes when their smashes are not coming off, and they can be absolutely lights out. So yeah.
1.5 years ago, I was in Lisbon in the European Championship representing Hungary, and I was Deus was actually there, and they were obviously not in the Premier Padel circuit yet, but they were playing amazing. Like I was watching them, they were 1 meter away, and I was watching them. It was crazy. Like I was watching them straight 30 minutes, and I was like, wow, these guys are up to something. And I didn't think actually that they're gonna be on Premier Padel. Like it was, you know, they weren't close to there yet, and it was, you know, and now it's great to see them there. But what do you think? What are their limits? So what they can reach? What is the top? What they can get to?
I think top 50. Realistically, I think they're quite close to it. But I don't like. What I always say is that usually, you know, everyone else, it's a good bet on where they are now. But yeah, 42.
They are 42 now.
So 42. So they're already in the top 50. So let's say top 30 is, I think, maybe the top where they could, maybe if they're lucky, they could get into like the season-ending, you know, the Masters final.
No way.
Maybe if like not this year, but that might be their ceiling.
That might be. Yep.
So what I think about them, and it's great for paddle. It is really good for paddle that there's a pair outside of Brazil, Argentina, and Spain. And there's obviously, you know, a few Swedish players, a few Belgian players who are really good. But it is funny in racket sports, isn't it? That when you see the levels and you see these guys up close, you're just like blown away that like, oh my God, how good are they? Like, you know, and then they play against Coelho and Tapia, and Coelho Tapia plays 60% of what they can do, and they still beat them 6-3, 6-2 easily. And they don't really break a sweat. So, I mean, I know that they played really good matches against Tolito and Gonzalfonso, who will also cover.
Against Chingalan as well.
And against Chingalan. But I think at the end of the day, they are at that level now that where they can, whenever they come up with a top pair, they will fall. And I think they have a good potential. They can still get better. As I say, they might get into the top 20. That is their ceiling. But I don't really see anywhere close because they started to play pedal, what, 10 years ago? Not even that, 7, 8 years ago. So, you know, they have a really strong tennis background, but at the end of the day, it is great. But their shot selection on how Coelho, Tapia, and all the top pairs, you know, Chingalan, and we can just go on and on about them. If you look at them, it is a completely different ball game. Like, you know, when you see the shot selection of these Spanish, and we've seen them up close. You've seen them on the Euros, you know, even the Spanish players, you know, Alex Ruiz and all those guys who were playing as well. And I've seen them only in the seniors, and we were blown away. How far are we? Like, you know, you're obviously Tommy is a really good paddle player, but like, unbelievable differences. Even on like, you know, the Hungarian level, the top Hungarian players unfortunately are nowhere to the Belgian or, you know, to the Swedish. But we were talking about 5, 7 years.
Why do you think? Why do
Coaching.
what is the difference? No, in the game. Like, what is the difference between
shot selection? That's and the
efficiency, I think.
Efficiency, I think it's a good word. I think what it is and what the main difference is how you can execute the shot which you're actually thinking about. So it's not about a massive portress. It's not about it's about where the lobs are, you know, landing like this close to the back wall.
Yeah.
It's about the chiquitas that they're really dinking down behind the net. It's about the volleys, how solid they are, and also the best players are not missing balls.
No. And why do you think Chingotto is there?
Yeah.
Like why do you think Chingotto has a place with his? It's not offensive, but his height. Yeah. How can he be there with Galan, Coelho, and Tapia? Because he's not missing balls. His efficiency, his lobs is right there where it should be.
Yeah, and even if you look, I think when we talk about Chingotto, the main thing is how amazingly he moves back and forth.
Yes.
How amazing. He's really hard to lob. You wouldn't actually think that he's that hard to lob, but he moves back so quickly, and he has a really nice, how do you call that?
Bandora.
Bandora, that's the one.
Shout out to Abel.
He has a really great Bandora. So yeah, I think it is amazing to see on how efficient even a really tiny player like El Raton can be.
Yes.
And we spoke about you know, the Bergamini thing as well, and how Bergamini, how amazing he moves as well. And I think where we are lacking as players, you know, you started what, 3.5 years ago?
3 years ago,
I started, you know, not even 3 years ago, and you know, we're obviously not on the same level, but we can still play good matches with each other. And I think when we go and play on the main stage, on like a Euros or a World Champs, you know, senior or, you know, whatever adult, it doesn't really matter, because when you look at it, you're like, oh wow, okay, yeah. So there's a lot to learn. I think what it is, and just to round this topic off on how the those brothers can really make it and how it is. I think it is about who you play against, who you practice with.
Yeah.
And in Hungary, it's quite tough because there's, what, 6 to 8 really top players.
Yes.
And I think after a while, you do know every little inch of what you gotta do against each other.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that you're back on the paddle court, by the way, because you had a bit of a love lost with paddle, not in terms of like you know, playability, and I always try to say to him that he should go back on the paddle court, but I think where we really lack is coaching. It is a massive thing. Like, you cannot get around it. That, you know, we have a couple of good coaches, but we need top coaches, top Spanish, top Argentinian coaches who can actually tell you, okay, this is, you know, just a tiny bit of your wrist or whatever, and this is what you really need to do to get better. So I think that's where we're still lacking, and that's where the Deus brothers might be, because they're, as far as I know, obviously they are playing in Madrid, and they're practicing in a lot of places. But I think in general, it's still that little bit before they can really, you know, break through. But if you look at their rise, last year they were playing in, you know, FIP silvers, FIP bronzes, whatnot, and now they're in Premier Padel. Almost every time they're on the main draw.
They're very unexpected that they are there.
Yeah, and they were beating good teams as well, Spanish teams as well. So they are doing well, but they're not as good as Coelho Tapia, obviously.
Yeah. Let's talk about Tolito and Gonza, because another first round loss. I think it was the third or fourth first round loss streak for them. And they are breaking up. Tolito is gonna play with Javi Garrido, and Gonza joins Sanyo. I think personally, for me, Tolito and Garrido is a better pair, to be honest. But I told you as well that for me, Garrido still is about the efficiency, what he needs more to be more efficient with the shot selection, about when he's gonna hit a smash or when he's gonna attack the ball more. But I think still it's a better pair than Gonza and Sanyo, because Sanyo is getting a little bit old, to be honest. It's sad, but it's true. But two amazing pairs.
Yeah, there's a few things how we can talk about this topic. I think first of all, it's amazing that Tolito, from playing A1, now became the pair of Javi Garrido. If you think about it, last year Garrido played the final in Qatar, on the major in Qatar, with you know, against Coelho and Tapia. And if you think about it, he's a top player. Yes, he has his flaws, but at the end of the day, that guy can play paddle.
Yes, obviously. And everyone can play paddle there. So.
Yeah, but what I mean is that he can win matches. He can. I mean, look, I thought that it will work out with Libak, because I really rate Libak. I think Libak is one of the best talents.
That's why I said at the beginning
that
absolutely. Augsburger and Libak was such a big pair, and it was it's such a shame that they broke up.
And he cannot really find his way, can he not? So I think, yes, I think Tolito and Garrido is a really interesting pairing, and I think at the end of the day, Tolito has the experience to actually become quite something, and Garrido has that little bit more power than Gonza Alfonso has. But on the other hand, I think Gonza Alfonso and Sanyo is not really gonna be a massive pairing. I think it will be a good pair, but you know, I don't think Gonza thought that he will be playing with a legend like Sanyo. I don't think he was.
Yeah.
I think it is still a massive thing for him. Like, he was...
Yes, if you would say 1 year ago that Gonza will play with Sanyo and Tolito going to be with Garrido, no way.
Yeah,
no way.
Exactly.
No way.
So I think it is... look, it's a sad thing to see that Tolito and Gonza are gone, because they are the most two flamboyant players on the court and on the circuit. So I think it is a big thing that they I mean, unfortunately they broke up. Understandable. I think they just like now lacking that sort of little bit of extra firepower what they would need. But as a left side player, I don't think Chingo would be, you know, that good of a left side player if he would play there. So where I'm trying to get to is that Gonza isn't the tallest player either on the court. So I think at the end of the day... I
mean, if you remember, Masters Final 2022 or 3, Dineno Cingotto playing the final, almost beating Alan LeBron. That was the, like, I think I never enjoyed a paddle match rather than that. It was amazing. Like, seeing two right-sided players, and that Cingotto was amazing on the left side as well. It was crazy to see that, like, I was surprised that Cingotto was going to play on the left side and not
Yeah.
Dinenno on the left side.
Yeah, but I think like Cingotto is just a better all-round player. Now we can see as well that Cingotto is actually one of the best players on the tour. We can say that. Like he's absolutely amazing. And I think, you know, there were a lot of questions, and we'll talk about the final. There were a lot of questions if Cingotto is the right fit for Galan. I think I still look. I'm a massive LeBron Galan fan. It's not going to happen, but if anything, that would definitely be a different story. But I think it is back to that topic with Cingotto and with the left side. He can do everything.
Yeah.
He can do it all. He's just unbelievable.
Amazing
so, yeah.
guy.
So we are. I'm hoping that Tolito will be still motivated. I hope he can talk to Garrido, and Garrido will really find his way, because we need a strong pair. Look, they're not going to play semis. They're definitely not going to play finals, but they can give us a lot of joy.
We will see.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, let's talk about Paquito and Bergamini and talk about like why are they working. First, I think they're working because Paco needs a player by his side, who he can navigate and control a little bit, like with Cingotto or with Dinenno.
Yeah.
These three players, Bergamini, Cingotto, and Dinenno, are players who beside Paco can do his thing. He can do the big bajadas, can do the big viboras, and whatever he wants. And the guy on the left is telling Paco, okay, I'm trusting you, you can do this, I'm gonna handle the rest. But before Paco was playing with Teo, I don't think, has he had any other pair beside him, or it was just Teo?
LeBron.
Yes, LeBron, yes, good point. And just to go back to Teo, because Teo is definitely not a player, what I mentioned. Teo is not a player who can, you just navigate. He's a left-sided player with a huge smash. And I don't think if you remember, that was one game with Paco and Teo. Paco was playing at the right side actually with Teo. And then they lost the first set, and they swapped, and it was crazy to see, like
in professional padel, that's not really happening.
Yes. So, what do you think? Why they are working very well? Because I didn't think that they're gonna bring results like this.
I think it's again really interesting, and I think Paco is. I just call Paco the Federer of padel, because I think Paco is so effortless, and when he enjoys the game, he's unbelievable.
Yes.
And I think he needs that stability from the right side, what Dinenno, what Cingotto, and what obviously Bergamini brings. They're not doing anything spectacular. We can talk, like, we can argue with Cingotto because obviously he's unbelievable, but he's not doing anything which is Bergamini I'm talking about. So Lucas is not doing anything which is, you just look at him and you're like, wow, amazing. He's hitting smashes behind the line, and he's just doing everything, spectacular and whatnot. But he's doing an unbelievably good job of keeping the ball in play and giving Paco. But look, Paco isn't like a proper all out attacking player. He's just unreal with his shot selection, his little rulos, his viboras, his bandoras, and I think it's just a joy to watch them. It really is.
I love to watch them.
It's one of the most user-friendly paddle pairing what we've ever seen, because I think it's unreal how they can hit the ball. And even Bergamini, he's so quick. He's so quick. He just gets around the court in no time. And I've seen Bergamini live when he was playing in London, just outside of London. And look, you wouldn't actually think that he's that good, but he's that good. So, I mean, we just mentioned at the beginning of this podcast as well that we weren't really sold on this idea, because we just thought that, this will be the last year of Paco. But if he plays like this, and they play semis, they play finals, they played the final last week, haven't they, before Rome?
Yes.
if that happens, you know, and they give a massive game to like Chingalan or you know, Coelho Tapia, it is not like a given thing. Yes, they're still better. Chingalan and Coelho Tapia are better, but they're better than anyone else. So it was funny because I was watching the final and my wife just asked like, is it them again? Isn't it boring now? And I'm like,
No,
well,
it's never boring. It's never boring to watch on a Sunday. This match. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about semifinals.
Yeah, let's talk about semifinals. So Chingalan against Stupa Lebron, crazy match. And I was actually just watching the game when it was already 6-4 to Lebron Stupa, and I was watching. Wow, I didn't think that they're gonna beat them. I know that's your very big support on this pair, and it's the favorite pair of yours now.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't see how they can consistently beat Galan, Chingotto or Coelho and Tapia, but in this match they had their chances, and it's just amazing how Chingalan can turn around this match and they win.
So yeah, I think Chingalan is just a better pair. I think the third best pair is LeBron and Stupa.
Yes, 100%. And just one more thing, it's an interesting thing that now Galan versus Lebron is 5-0.
5-0, yeah.
So I don't think Galan is that much of a better player that this statistics shows, but it's just crazy how Lebron cannot beat him. Like,
well, I think, look, I think LeBron is not gonna be world #1 ever again. I think LeBron is gone. That's how I feel about it. Unless he secures Tapia, maybe. But why would Tapia play with him, right? So I think he needs either Tapia or Galan to really fight for a title. Not even Augsburger would help, I don't think. Maybe next year, maybe. If Augsburger is getting 1 year older, he's getting a little bit better with shot selection and everything. Look, we spoke about Augsburger, how good he is. But I think LeBron... I like LeBron and Stupa, and I think they almost had them, right? Yeah. They just lost 7-6 in the second set. So I think they could have beaten them, but obviously, and I think it's a tougher pairing for Coelho and Tapia than Chingalan. When I say this, we know the result of the final.
Have they beat them, LeBron, Stupa, Coelho?
I think they no. They were close. I think they might have beat them once, but I'm not 100% sure now. We'll check that one out.
Yeah, we're gonna check it out.
And I think when you look at Stupa, he's definitely playing better than last year, a lot better.
Yeah.
And
they were a little bit stuck with Dineno, to be honest. That's why they broke up, because I think.
They have. In Miami.
In Miami. So back to Stupa and Dineno, I think they had the most trust for each other, I think, ever in padel pairing. Yeah. And it was such a sad thing that they broke up, because they had no other options. Yeah. Something was not clicking, something was not working, and they had to move on. But it was a great pair to be.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that was the final nail in the coffin, I think, ever, that they played the World Champs final, right? And they were demolished by Coelho and Coqui Nieto. That was one of the biggest thrashing I've ever seen on a paddle court, to be fair. So I think that was them gone. But now we can see that it wasn't necessarily Stupa, because Stupa is still consistently up there. He was up there with Yanguas. They had a really good pairing with Yanguas, so they were playing really well. So about this semifinal, look, I think Galan just really wants to beat LeBron all the time, and I think LeBron wants to beat Galan, but LeBron still hopes that they will be a pairing. I think deep down, I think he still hopes that will be a pairing still. I think that boat is gone as well. I think Galan just doesn't want any sort of stress on the court. He's we spoke about it. How many times we spoke about it, that LeBron is a really, really tough customer, right? Yeah. He is such a he wants to win, and he's a little bit like Djokovic-esque in terms of like he definitely wants to win. It doesn't matter how he wins, he just wants to win. Galan wants to win with a classy, with a smile on his face. You know, he's a bit like Alcaraz. He just wants to enjoy the game. He can get angry. Don't get me wrong. Galan can.
I think that's why this pair worked, because when Paco was playing with LeBron, they were like,
oh, that was horrific.
That was horrific. And then Galan could calm LeBron down, and that's why I think it was working.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. And I think, you know, Stupa LeBron is still a good pairing. I think they have a couple of P1s in them. I don't think they have a major in them, to be fair, but I think they can still win a couple this year. Now, next year will be interesting because we're now at the halftime of the season.
So it's Qatar, Doha, it's Rome, it's Paris, and what's the fourth?
Wasn't it Mexico a major?
Mexico, yeah, you were right.
Okay, the Mexico one will be the last one.
Yeah, Acapulco. The tickets in Acapulco is crazy.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
last year I was watching the ticket prices. It was like one seat $400 or $500. Man, wow. What the fuck?
So we're definitely not going to go there
No.
unless we're getting invited with the Pedal Podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you know, we now know the final, and we'll talk about that in a second as well. There's a great storyline. If you don't mind, I'll just go to the second semifinal with Coelho and Tapia against Leal and Guerrero.
Yeah, we have to talk about Leal and Guerrero.
And Javi Leal and Guerrero, oh my God, what a story. Like, they have been playing together since they were kids. And it was unbelievable to see how in sync they are and how...
Guerrero was not playing with Jairo Bautista.
They were, but I think they just came back together. So I think they were playing when they were kids, and now they're back together with Leal. And I think it is great to see that they... Look, Guerrero is a great name for head paddle, because Guerrero is one of the new big things, like Edu Alonso was, and now Edu is with Knox. But I think it's good to see that you know, a new name played a semifinal. These kids, oh wow, they're special. Like they were playing lights out paddle, and look, to beat Yangues and Nieto in a final set shootout, it's hats off. Like, I mean, it has been amazing.
I think Leal has very much, I don't know how year old is he, I'm gonna check it now, but he has so much potential. Like, his smash is amazing, and just how fast he can react.
Yeah.
Fast he can react to 21 years old. So he is still young, and he's still a little bit, you know, like Augsburg, a little bit messy on the court, but he is amazing. His talent, his smashes, and yeah, they just show now that they can be there. And just like Diestro and it's Huelu Esbri.
Oh yeah, Esbri.
And he is amazing as well. Unfortunately, they were now with Coelho and Tapia. They obviously at the latest tournament they beat them, but now Coelho and Tapia got the revenge. But these two pairs are, wow, they're playing.
Yeah,
amazing.
and I mean, look, that was a great semifinal as well, because it was 6-7, 6-2, 6-2.
Yeah.
So like, I think they just got tired. I think Leal and Guerrero, they just got tired.
Because they're not used to playing
exactly. So
matches,
I think you know, in a major against arguably one of the best pairs ever who played paddle, it is quite a steep mountain to climb. So I think you know, if you look at that, it is amazing that has happened. And they just came in as a pair which has never got this high yet, and look, that's great for paddle to get these new names, because if we always have the 4 seeds in the semifinals, that is, look, it's not, I wouldn't say it's not as exciting, but if we have these pairs, like, you know, you said Esbri and Diestro, and then we had Karburger, and then we have, you know, these guys, Leal and Guerrero. Yeah. We have these pairs. It's great to see. It's great to see that, you know, and maybe Garrido and Tolito, or maybe De Neno and Teo will be there. Although I think De Neno has, like, it's one of the worst seasons he's ever had. Like,
I'm so sad for De Neno, because actually when Galans was starting to play with Cingotto was his second option.
Yeah,
I don't know if
he
you
was.
know
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
so
he was
De Neno
Neno,
was the first option, and this is why De Neno is not playing with Galan, because De Neno and Stupa were so strong together, and they were so much trusting each other, and it's a little bit sad for De Neno.
It's really sad.
But it is what it is. It's sports. You never know what's gonna happen, and I think De Neno is gonna be back he needs, I think, a different partner. He needs a much more consistent player, although Teo is amazing as well, but he's a little bit lacking consistency in his game, I think. But Dineno is, yeah, it's just sad to see that he's not at the top now.
Yeah, I think, you know, they had a good tournament a couple of weeks ago, and Teo was playing really well, and then, you know, they were saying that I think his nickname is El Gato, isn't he?
El Gato, yeah. And Santiago, they were playing good, yeah.
Yeah, and they got to the semis, I think, or maybe even the final.
Yeah, and then
they haven't won a game in the final, or something crazy happened, but yeah. Look, I think at the end of the day, these are all great players. Like Teo was a national team player for Argentina, so you know we're not talking about a guy who cannot hit a pedal ball. We are talking about someone who's lacking a bit of self-belief, I think.
And this is the small things, which it's not just in paddle, but in tennis as well. I don't know if you heard Federer, but when he said that he won like I don't know, only
54% of his points.
54% of his all of his points, and like how many matches? Like 80 or 90% of his matches around that.
Yeah, I think so it was 85 or something.
Yeah, it's crazy that the small details of I don't know the if you do the warm up well, or you do the after work after the match every single day, and you're always there and motivated and doing all the small things to make sure that you're on the course and you can put your best. But it's so many sides are coming in mentally, physically. You have to be there, so it's just very, very tough, and they're all amazing players.
Absolutely. Last topic. In
the men's, because we're going to talk about the women's as well.
Yeah, okay.
Because
we need to touch the women's game as well, don't we? So let's talk about the final. And I think I was surprised, I have to say.
Me too.
I didn't think. I've seen quite a few games of Galan and Chingotto and also Coelho Tapia, and I thought that Coelho Tapia were cruising. They were really good. So I thought that this will be the same result as the last few times, but Chingalan proved me wrong. They pulled together an unbelievable match, and while I was watching, I was actually thinking that, oh my God, if Galan can play this well, he is the best in the biz. Like, Galan played absolutely lights out. I'm not saying Chingotto wasn't playing well. I was just thinking that whenever the ball was on Galan's court, and look, his
reactions, his blocks are amazing.
I mean, we're talking about the artistry of Tapia, but like, if you want a prototypical paddle player, you would choose every shot which Ale Galan hits. Everything is textbook. Every shot, his volleys, his saves, his vibora, his bandeja, his kick smash, like that guy. If you want to teach someone who hasn't seen a paddle player, because look, Tapia, he's a natural. What he does, he just feels the ball, he knows what to do, and obviously he has an amazing technique. But if you want someone to do like a Michael Jordan, or like, you know, a Federer, who's like literally, you watch him and he's so aesthetically pleasing, Ale Galan, oh my God, that guy is from another planet.
Yeah, and I think the smashes, it's a little bit what Tapia lacks now, and I don't know what is in the background. Is it an injury? Because we know that Tapia had something, and he's not hitting the smashes now, as he's not having so many like
cheap
Galan.
Points. Yeah.
I think if you watch the statistics, there's so much more smashes for Galan now. And it's efficient as well, so he's not just hitting it, it's winning points. And I think Tapia is not hitting the smashes because he knows that if he's going to hit it, it's not going to be that efficient.
I think if you look at this final and how they were playing, I think it is, look, Coelho and Tapia broke in the the second set. They were leading 3-1 in the second set. The first set just went by fairly quickly. After 3-0, at 4-3 they broke, and then they served it out. But in the second set, they just played Oh my! So that was unreal. So look, massive shout out to Chingalan, because I think it is just great to see that someone else won finally, and it wasn't Coelho Tapia. But we're talking about like Chingalan because last week they won as well.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks ago. The race is warming up. Chingalan is actually ahead of Coelho and Tapia in the race, and obviously the third best pairing is LeBron and Stupa.
After that, Koki and Yanguas.
Yep. And then Paco and Bergamini and Momo and John Suns. We haven't spoken about them, and they just quietly they've been playing amazing, to be fair.
Yeah, Suns is just like it's just the controversy of Galan.
Yeah.
About the technique. Like if you just watch how he moves on the court, what are the
He's like a snail, or like a snake. He's just
and it's
like
crazy how he's fast and he's all
yeah,
on
yeah.
the court.
I think that the worst part is that he's just not solid. He has matches when he doesn't even hit the court. Like his matches like literally go to the backside of the fence or whatever. So it's just not good. But yeah, and then Carburger. So that's interesting as well.
I think that's this is the end.
Oh,
so,
look at that! Yeah, Tolito and Gonzo are still in the race for. I think it's not Barcelona.
Barcelona,
Is it Barcelona this year as well?
Yeah.
Next year it will be something else. I've heard that.
Yeah, so it's interesting how is it looking now, because I think 1 year ago we didn't think that Dinenno is not going to be in the top.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In the Masters final. Now Coelho and Tapia has the same amount of titles, 33 titles in total, as Galan and Lebron had. So they are now just at the same titles. And it's interesting that Bella and Juan Martin Diaz has 170 titles.
Yeah, so when we talk about the GOAT race, I think there's this.
I mean,
there's
if you
still
just do a quick math, you need, how many titles do you need a year for Coelho and Tapia?
I think like 10 for like 12 years, or like crazy, like 100 and they need 137.
Because you have I think like you have 22 tournaments a year, but they're not playing 22.
Yeah. They're playing like 19, 18, 19.
Yeah, so you need to win half of the tournaments. It's I mean, Coelho and Tapia, we're talking about.
Yeah, but I think it was a different era. It's almost like the same as if we go back to the Rod Laver time when he won 4, twice. But that was a different era. So yeah, it's interesting to see how that is. Look, I said it at the beginning of the season, and I have to give myself props that I think Triai and Brea will be.
Yeah, you said it.
Absolutely spot on. And so far, they have been the runaway champs of the 2025 season. I think they have been playing unbelievable. And look.
It's interesting because here on the women's side you have 3 pairs which are like dominating.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
I cannot tell who is the 4th best pair, because these 3 pairs are
maybe Martieta, Ortega, and yeah.
I wouldn't say that they are clearly the 4th best, because you have their the Portuguese lady.
Yeah, you have Araújo, which is crazy. I don't even know why they broke up with Ortega, because they were like properly top 3, top 4 pair.
Yeah, if they were together, I would say they are the 4th best pair.
Yeah,
but
they just
now I
up,
cannot mention the 4th best pair. And it's interesting that now Iglesias and Guinart, I don't know I'm saying it wrong. And they were in the semifinals. Actually, they were playing against the Hungarian lady, Dora.
Yep.
And now I was just watching that. Wow, they are in the semifinal. Obviously, Gemma and Delphi were.
Yeah, they were a bit too strong.
They were a bit too strong for them. But it's nice to see that. This is the proof why I don't think there's a 4th best woman pair, because Iglesias and Guinart was there.
Yeah, I think if you look at the top 3, and obviously Bea Gonzalez and Claudia Fernandez are the 3rd, who we haven't mentioned by name, because Sanchez and Jose Maria are the clear 2nds, and they showed, and they came back because they were leading. So Gemma and Brea, they were They were leading 4-1 with a double break in the second set, and then all of a sudden it just became 4-3 again in the final. So against Sanchez and Jose Maria. So they were 4-1 up, and then they had a bit of a mishap of like, you know, Delphi Brea can have these little bit of off. Like sometimes during matches she can just go astray a bit, which is really weird, but she just like goes away a bit. Yeah. But if you look at the rankings, or this is the race of this year.
Is the race. So now Delphi and Gemma is back in first place.
Yeah, so they're 1,300 points roughly ahead of Ari Sanchez and Jose Maria. And yeah, so you can see that obviously Sofia Araujo and Martita Ortega, they are still the fourth best pair, but now they're separate, so they don't actually play with each other because Martita is playing with Alejandra Alonso de Villa.
Yeah, she's a very good player.
Yeah, she's a great player. She's still really young.
And that's what I wanted to say, that for example in tennis, I never liked to watch women's tennis.
Yeah.
Obviously when was like Serena or Sharapova or Azarenka, I was watching them because it was like amazing. Now we have like, okay, Sabalenka, but I didn't really watch the like actually my mother was watching the final.
Yeah.
And I was saying to her like, just put this away.
Just turn it off.
I don't want to watch this. And
I mean, you know, Sabalenka's grunting isn't really helping, is it? So I think that's just. I think it's you know, if you watch, because there's only one lefty in the top 10. It's obviously Paula Jose Maria, and she's a joy to watch. She's just, you know, her shot selection and how she can actually hit the ball is unreal. And I think it was a great major. All in all,
a little bit like John Sands. No?
Yeah, but she's a lot more solid, so she's not missing that many balls. I think it was a great final as well. Look, at the moment, this is how much better Triai and Brea is. I think that's how it is happening, and it's just great to see that people are watching the women's final as well. So when they're there, it's not just the men's final, and it is gaining more and more traction. Look, if we will be, it would be interesting to see on what would happen if the majors in paddle would go for 5 sets as well, best of 5.
I mean, if you just watch the first set was 1 hour and 38 minutes.
Yeah.
In the semi-final when Sanchez and Jose Maria played against Gonzalez and Fernandez. I mean, if you have
but I'm obviously talking about the men's final. Sorry, the men's game.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
it's not the women's.
Yeah, obviously in the women's tennis it was never like that. But
I mean, no, that's not true, because there were actually some like when Steffi Graf were playing and that whatnot, they had some best of 5.
I was not living there,
yeah,
so
no,
I don't know about
that was before your time. That was before your time, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So it could be interesting. I mean. It's the organizers would not really love that thing, because
I think they would need a bit more, a few more courts for that.
If they would do the semi-finals maybe, or from the quarterfinals.
Yeah. As they used to do in the Masters in tennis, they actually did that.
So but I don't think it's a manageable thing to do it from the first round.
Sure. There's a lot of
you need more courts.
There's a lot of paddle to be done.
Yeah, for the end, I have the 4 best points, which we're gonna react to now, and it's just amazing. The 2 best men points and the 2 best women points of the tournament. It's a Coelho Tapia against.
That was a double-handed backhand by Coelho. Unreal how they can play. Okay, yeah, there you go.
And they continue the point like nothing happened. That's the funniest thing about it. Okay. Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, what a shot. So yeah, Javi Leal has the power.
This shot only I think Leal, Galan, or like Augsburger can do.
Oh, you mean that he can hit it this hard?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Like that literally landed behind the service line.
There's
Yeah.
just no words for this. The second one is Lebron Stupa against Chingalan in the semi-final. Wow. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then they continue once again like nothing happened, and wow.
Yeah.
Like how, I mean, it's, I think it can only happen if you hit a control like this, when you hit the upper part of the glass, when it's coming with the fans. So it was a little bit of lucky thing, but it was like interesting. You can do a funny video about it. This is going for the moon and back.
What did you think of this outfit of LeBron, that he was sleeveless?
I mean,
It was different, wasn't it?
I mean,
And they were all pink. That was quite funny.
yeah, it's an interesting. I don't know if the sponsor said it. That's
Yeah,
he
I'm
needs
pretty
to play
sure.
in
I'm
this,
pretty
but
sure. Like Babolet said to him, yeah.
yeah, because of, I don't know, maybe Nada, you know, doing the same. We're gonna watch the Dormilona from the women's side. It's a semi-final.
So that's against Victoria Iglesias
Yes,
and Guinar.
Guinar.
Wow.
Wow.
And that's Iglesias who just finishes the point. That was great.
Yeah. I mean, if it would be Tapia, it wouldn't be in the highlights because.
Yeah, that's just every time.
Yeah, but it's nice to see. Like, this is why it's nice to watch women's game as well.
Yeah, she was with Puma before she went to Knox. I think now it really helped her. So that was great. Yeah,
that's a
Great
great
goal,
shot. And let's watch the last one. It's gonna be an outside shot. It's gonna be a
That
Fuera.
will be a Salida. Double-handed backhand.
Yeah, double-handed backhands, just like Dora. It's crazy how
Yeah,
Gemma
okay.
can.
Wow, what was that?
It was in, I think.
Yeah.
There, yeah. But it's.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's because actually it's a funny thing because I had a match like a couple of days ago and we were arguing about that. If you hit it first to the side of the net, it's good.
Yeah.
Like it's part of the court, so it's just like if you hit it to the net out from outside of the court. But I want to say that. Like from Gemma, how it's a slow shot and she's still hitting the court. I don't think there's one single player who can do this in the women's circuit. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't think Victoria Iglesias really wanted to hit that into into this little thing which is covering the net. But there you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's why they were in the semis, but they only just won 3 games, I think. So
4 because it was 6-3 or 6. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I mean, yeah, it's Duffy and Gemma. So yeah, it was an amazing week, and I think the next tournament is in Valladolid, P2.
Yeah, so that's where obviously Coelho is from. So he will
last
have a.
year he had a very. I don't know if you're watching the channel of Coelho in YouTube.
No, I have to start.
You have to check it out.
Yeah, I have to start.
You guys have to check it out as well because wow, I watched everything because like you're just watching the behind the scenes as well, and Coelho is an amazing person outside of the court as well. But so Coelho is from Valladolid, and actually he had a video when they won last year Valladolid with Tapia, and it was such an emotional thing because. I think something was about his dad there.
Yeah.
And so now it's gonna be hopefully Coelho can
win again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting, and that's my last and closing thought as well. It was one of those places where they had to stop during a final because it was too hot, and it was just too hot inside the cage, so they had to literally stop and they just like put some water on the court and whatnot, and then so it's a great outdoor tournament.
It's beside the monument there, or
yeah, I think it's on the town square.
Yeah.
So it is a great place, and we cannot wait to do obviously, you know, it would be great to talk about it when it's gone, but we are planning to do these. I mean, we haven't really planned this, but here we are now, and it's great to have sort of a recap on the majors. We'll see how much we can do of these, but Tommy was reluctant to do it, but he was great to do it. So hope you guys will enjoy it. yeah, hit a subscribe and also a follow on the screen, as you know how it is. And yeah, hopefully you will enjoy all the content which we're creating, guys, because we are working hard behind the scenes as well. So yeah,
yeah,
thank
we're
you.
just putting in the effort to make padel more accessible in English, and yeah, it's gaining a lot of traction in English as well. If you watch like Everything Padel or Padel Drive, or Pablo is doing a great job on
massive shout
translating
out to
all the episodes. He just put out the video of Rome, so yeah, we have to spread the message in English as well.
Absolutely.
So that's why we're doing this.
Yeah, we have to work together. Thanks, Tommy, for coming, and let's keep on doing it.
Thank you so much, and yeah, see you in the next episode. See you in the next episode.